And speaking during a press conference held this morning, Attorney General Levi vehemently discredited former Director of Public Prosecution Jean Petaina's claim to a pension. And Petaina and a group of his supporters and his attorney earlier this week called their own press conference asking that the government pay him what they believe he deserves. At that time, retired police officer Nicholas George indicated that Petaina, who suffers from cancer, needs that money now more than ever as he travels to Puerto Rico every 2 weeks for treatment. And George also stated that several letters were written to the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, President Charles Savary, the Minister of National Security, the Attorney General himself, the Cabinet Secretary, the Financial Secretary, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, the Chief Personnel Officer, and the Chief of Police, as well as the Chairman of the Police Welfare Association. But the Attorney General emphasized that this matter has been up for debate ever since the late Dame Eugenia Charles held the office of the Prime Minister and has been, therefore, addressed by every political party in government ever since. He stated that the government is indeed sympathetic to Petaina's situation, and one would have to be lacking in humanity to not have deep concern for him. But there are issues that need to be addressed.
One is, what is the legal position? What is the legal entitlement properly interpreting and applying the various pension provisions? The government's position is that the proper legal interpretation is that Mr. Petaina is not entitled to a pension of the nature that he asserts that he's entitled to.
And Peter clarified that Petaina is indeed receiving a pension under the Social Security Pension Act. However, he is not receiving a pension under the Police Pension Act because he did not serve the required number of years in the police force.
The contention of the state is that at the date of his retirement, Mr. Petaina was not entitled, nor was he paid gratuity in respect to this period of employment. However, Mr. Petaina is entitled to a pension under the Social Security Act. Chapter 3101 as amended, and it is my understanding, I am advised, that Mr. Petaina has been and is receiving that pension. It is clear, therefore, from the foregoing, that whilst Mr. Petaina has not received the pension that he contends he is entitled to, it is not correct, as has been stated in some fora, that he has not received any form of payment or acknowledgement of and for his service to the state. It is similarly not correct to say that the state has not sought to explain its position to Mr. Petaina or representatives of Mr. Petaina. The state's records indicate that the pension benefit due to Mr. Petaina in accordance with the applicable laws that I cited earlier have been paid to him in full in the form of a gratuity as required by Section 6H of the Pensions Act, Chapter 2380. That is where he hasn't qualified in one respect, and there is an alternative calculation, and has been calculated in accordance with the pensions regulations.
And Peter asserted that a letter in March of 2014 was sent to Petaina to explain the government's position on his pension. The Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security, Reuben Blackmore, assured that the government is more than willing to offer assistance to Petaina on what he refers to as compassionate grounds if the request is made.